Listen, you don't want to see any of these fight that little Chechen war. You want to see the last American in the sport going, okay.
Sean Strickland may have just triggered the most dangerous rivalry of his career. On February 21st, 2026, at UFC Fight Night in Houston, Strickland delivered one of the most emphatic performances of his recent run. Facing the surging Anthony Hernandez in the main event, Strickland silenced doubters with a third-round TKO at 2:23. Hernandez had ended the bout riding an 8-fight win streak and was widely viewed as one of the most threatening contenders at middleweight. Many fans and bettors believe Hernandez would overwhelm Strickland. The odds reflected that. Instead, Strickland defended every takedown attempt, punished Hernandez with sharp
What next, Sean? I don't know, man. Chimaev finally gets off the bench here. I'd like a piece of that little Chechen
combinations, and secured his first finish in nearly 3 years. It wasn't just a win, it was a statement. But the Real explosion came after the fight. When handed the microphone inside the octagon, Strickland didn't hesitate. He called out reigning middleweight champion Khamzat Chimaev directly, mocking his inactivity and questioning whether he would even show up. The Houston crowd roared as Strickland doubled down, making it clear that Chimaev was the only fight he wanted next. The press conference escalated things further. Strickland accused Chimaev of being selective in training sessions during their time at Extreme Couture in Las Vegas, claiming he chose smaller, less experienced partners instead of testing himself against elite competition. He painted Chimaev as a bully who dominates favorable matchups but avoids equal threats. Chimaev didn't wait long to respond. Early the next morning, he posted on X, "Habibi, calm down. I destroyed the guy who beat you twice. American." The message quickly spread across MMA's social media, racking up millions of views within hours. He also denied Strickland's sparring accusations, insisting that Strickland was the one who avoided tough exchanges in the gym. The rivalry was no longer subtle. It was public, direct, and personal. To understand why this feud burns hotter than typical UFC trash talk, you have to rewind to 2020, when both men trained under the same roof at Extreme Couture, the Las Vegas gym founded by legend Randy Couture. At the time, Chimaev was a fast-rising phenomenon tearing through opponents in dominant fashion. Strickland was already an established middleweight contender known for relentless pressure and unfiltered honesty. Their sparring sessions were intense, but the stories they tell about them could not be more different. Chimaev has repeatedly claimed he controlled Strickland on the sport.
Listen, you don't want to see any of these fight that little Chechen war. You want to see the last American in the sport going,
submitting him and dominating grappling exchanges. After capturing the middleweight title at UFC 319 in 2025, he brushed off Strickland's wrestling confidence entirely. Strickland, meanwhile, insists the opposite, that he weathered early grappling exchanges and ultimately wore Chimaev down. There is no verified footage proving either side right, and that uncertainty has only fueled the fire. But the tension didn't end in the gym. It reportedly escalated into what many insiders now call the gun incident, where personal animosity crossed into genuine distrust. From that moment forward, this was no longer simple competitive rivalry. It became something much deeper. This feud is bigger than sparring rounds and championship belts. It's about identity. Khamzat Chimaev was born in Chechnya in 1994, growing up during a period marked by violent conflict and instability. As a teenager, he and his family relocated to Sweden seeking asylum. There, he rebuilt his life through wrestling, eventually becoming a national champion before transitioning into mixed martial arts. His UFC rise was historic. His first 4 appearances inside the octagon lasted a combined few minutes, establishing him as one of the sport's most feared finishers almost overnight. Chimaev has openly spoken about living in gyms, training multiple times a day, and dedicating every ounce of focus to fight.
This guy, I beat him everywhere, like striking, but this guy just talked too much, so he's
fighting because of the sacrifices his family made. Strickland's upbringing was chaotic in a different way. Born in North Carolina and raised in California, he has shared painful stories about growing up in an abusive household. Violence at home shaped him early, and he is credited fighting with saving his life, giving him structure and purpose for the first time. Both men survived trauma. Both rebuilt themselves through combat, but their worldviews clashed dramatically. Over the past 2 years, the verbal attacks between them have escalated beyond sport. Strickland has criticized Chimaev's ties to Chechenya's leadership and mocked aspects of his background. Chimaev has dismissed Strickland as a loud talker who hides behind controversy. The rhetoric reached another level in the build-up to UFC Houston, when Strickland made inflammatory comments about potential matchups involving Chimaev and other Muslim fighters. The backlash was immediate. Fans, media members, and fellow fighters were divided, some calling it promotion, others calling it outright disrespect. Even UFC President Dana White acknowledged that managing Strickland's unpredictability can be difficult. So what happens next? As of late February 2026, no official fight between Strickland and Chimaev has been announced. Chimaev has not defended his middleweight title since winning it in 2025, leading to criticism that the division is stalled. Strickland's dominant win in Houston positions him as a logical challenger, but contenders like Nassourdine Imavov remain in the mix. Former champion Daniel Cormier weighed in after the Houston event, praising Strickland's performance while questioning whether he could withstand Chimaev's elite wrestling over 5 rounds. Still, Cormier admitted that the sharp, disciplined version of Strickland we saw recently would present serious problems for anyone. If this fight becomes official, it won't just be about rankings. It will be about pride, history, culture, ego. 2 men shaped by different battles. One from a war-torn region overseas, the other from a war inside his own home, now standing on a collision course inside the octagon. And if they finally meet, it won't feel like promotion. It will feel personal.